So, fatigue test is the Hogler testing machines. This is Hogler testing machines. Is one of the fatigue testing. So, in this, what is mean by fatigue? What is fatigue means? Repeated or cyclic stress. Okay, repeated or cyclic stress causing it to fail at stress levels below its ultimate tensile or yield strength. Okay, it is mean repeated or cyclic stress. Okay, this is important one. Repeated or cyclic stress causing it to fail at stress levels below its ultimate tensile or yield strength. This is a fatigue test definitions. This is a setup for regular setup for fatigue test machines. This is a motor and the bearing supports. Okay, this is a test specimen. Okay, this is a test specimen. So one end of the specimen is fixed for motor, another end of the specimen is fixed for ends up with loading condition, ends up with load. Okay, so in this fatigue test, two condition, one is very high speed. Okay, speed with load. Okay, this is then only we can create the cyclic load. Okay, mainly for this testing is carried out for cyclic load condition. So high speed with loading condition. Okay, this is a repeated or cyclic stress. Okay, then only called. So this is a various kind. Okay, one is a bending test. So bending test means one side is fixed, another one is side is applied the load. Another torsion test is means is a rotational motion, and the direct stress means is a tensile or compression stress. Okay, compressive fatigue test. Okay, and this is the transverse test. Okay, this is the specimen is rotate with the high speed. Okay, nearly for 3000 to 6000 rpm. The speed is rotated to 3000 to 6000 rpm speed with the end is load in conditions. Okay, so the other three condition is bending test, torsion and direct test, the various kind of fatigue test. So the first one is the specimen is fixed in the overhanging beam type. So specimen is fixed in the overhanging beam type. So one end is loaded. Okay, loaded at one end with weight, rotation with high speed. Okay, so one end is loaded, another one is high rotation is very high speed with the loading condition. So at that loading conditions, okay, the specimen is, so during rotations the top surface. Okay, this is a specimen is along a enlarged view of the specimen is the top side of the specimen is elongated under the under tension, under high tension, and the bottom side, okay, is the bottom surface is under the minus sigma. Okay, so is the plus sigma is the minus. Okay, is the plus stress, is the minus stress, is the tensile stress, is the compressive one. Okay, so in between this is the neutral axis. There is no stress and strain in this stress. Okay, no stress in this portion. It's a neutral axis. This is the high stress and high compression. Okay, so every rotation cycle. Okay, பீம் வந்து இந்த ஸ்பெசிமென் ரொட்டேட் ஆகும் போல் ஒவ்வொரு சைக்கிள்லையும் இந்த கம்ப்ரஸும் அண்டு tensile. Okay, so both every each rotation cycle, both compression and tensile stress is created for every cycle of rotations. Okay, okay, repeated tension and compression during each cycle of rotations. Okay, every cycle of rotations material occur tensile and compression. Okay, the central axis is a neutral axis, no stress that area. So ஒவ்வொரு சைக்கிள் அப்பயும் கம்ப்ரஷன் டென்சைல் வந்து மாறி மாறி ரிப்பீட்டடாக நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். இதுதான் வந்து ஃபெட்டிக்யூ டெஸ்ட். ஓகே, ஹை ஸ்பீட் வித் லோடிங் கண்டிஷன்ஸ். So the higher stress level means the less cycle. Okay, higher stress level means less cycle to fatigue failure you can find. Lower stress means higher number of fatigue cycle. Okay, so in this using the fatigue test we can draw the SN curve. We can draw the SN curve, stress and number of cycle curve, stress and number of cycle curve. So it take the test for different loading condition and stress condition. Okay, so we can take the test for different loading and cyclic condition. So using this the data we can draw the SN curve. Okay, so x-axis is the number of cycles and y-axis is the stress. Okay, x-axis is the number of cycles and y-axis is the stress. Okay, x-axis is the number of cycle, y-axis is the stress. So SN curve, this is a SN curve for ferrous material. Okay, This is SN curve for ferrous material. So this is some elongation. Okay, this is some பாயிண்ட் வந்து என்னாகுன்னா சம் டிஃப்ளெக்ட் ஆகி வர மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ எஸ்என் கர்வ் ஃபார் நான் ஃபெரஸ் மெட்டல், திஸ் இஸ் அ நான் ஃபெரஸ் மெட்டல். ஸோ இஸ் அ length curve. Okay, straight line. Okay, this is a straight line. Okay, non ferrous or plastic type material. Okay, this is SN curve for this. The next one is the fatigue limit. Okay, is so இந்த ரீஜன் வரும்போது மெட்டீரியல் வந்து சர்வைவலாக இருக்கும். ஸோ இந்த ரீஜன் இந்த சைக்கிள் 10^6 சைக்கிள்ஸ் ரீச் ஆகும் போல் மெட்டீரியல் வந்து ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகும், ஃபெட்டிக் ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகும். வாட் இஸ் மீன் பை ஃபெட்டிக் லிமிட் மீன்ஸ் த மெட்டீரியல் இஸ் என்டியூர். ஓகே, த இன்ஃபினைட் சைக்கிள் ஆஃப்டர் த infinite material endure after the infinite cycle of time. Okay, these 10^6 cycles the material endure. Okay, this is called the fatigue limit of the material. So fatigue ratio means fatigue strength to the tensile strength, fatigue strength to the tensile strength. Okay, so first one is the fatigue test, means it is the repeated or cyclic stress condition. Okay, causing it to the fail at stress levels below its ultimate tensile or yield strength. So three kind of fatigue: bending, torsion, and direct stress. So is the beam is the specimen is the overhanging beam type. So in this case, so one side is loaded with weight. Okay, one side is loaded with weight, other one is speed rotation. So speed of rotation is maximum of 6,000 6,000 to 10,000 rpm. Okay, so during the rotation, so top surface is under the tension and the bottom surface is the compression. The neutral axis is no stress. So this repeated tension and the compression during each cycle of rotations. Okay, we can find. So at the higher stress level means there is cycle of two fatigue failure. Lower stress means higher number of fatigue failures. So using the various data of stress and number of cycles, we can draw the SN curve for load and stress conditions. X-axis is the number of cycles and Y-axis is the stress level. This is the fatigue curve for the non-ferrous material, and this is the fatigue curve for non-ferrous material. Okay, thank you.